Leadership, success. Hi, welcome. My name is Jonathan Medina. I'm America's #1 youth motivator. I'm your teacher, I'm your coach, I'm your friend, and I'm your teammate. And today we're talking about leadership and success. Hey guys, I'm so pumped. I'm so excited. It's National Gear Up Week. Today we are with the Connally cadets. And thank you so much to Ms. Gibson and Ms. Smith for inviting me to be a part of you all's National Gear Up Week. It's September 21st to the 25th. There's going to be a ton of stuff, but I want to help you guys kick it off. It's going to be an amazing week. But today, I want you to let you know, I'm going to go right to the bottom. We're going to talk about how you can win $100 just for watching the end of this video and participating. I'm going to show you how you can win $100. We're going to talk about ninth grade. We're talking about grit. We're going to talk about a personal pandemic. But first things first, I need you to know who I am. Normally, someone like Miss Smith or Miss Gibson would introduce me. They would say something like, spoken to over 1,000 schools at places such as Harvard, Texas A&M, and schools from New York City all the way to Los Angeles. Reached over 1 million students, educators, parents at camps, conferences, seminars that we put on, full-on events, all at live events. And then I was a football player at Georgetown University, where I was a starter for 2 years. Been featured on ESPN, NBC, ABC, Fox, TED. This is a new one, so I'm super pumped, but I was a best-selling author. And then finally, broke the record at McDonald's for the most Happy Meals eaten in one day. Go ahead and comment. If you guys comment and anyone gets it right, get super close, I'm going to go ahead and give someone an extra special prize. But before I was breaking records at McDonald's, before I was a best-selling author, before I spoke to over 1 million people at events all across the nation and worked with organizations like Gear Up, before all of that, I have to talk to you about vision. Go ahead and write that down on a sheet of paper. Write it down in the comments. The word is vision. One of my favorite quotes says that without a vision, the people perish. And so students, I want you to understand that today, without a vision, the students lose. 2020 was supposed to be the year about vision. People had been talking about it. It had been hyped up. 2020 vision. So they were using that line. It was supposed to be a really hyped up year, but instead it all changed. Instead, everything did not happen. For a lot of people, they gave up on 2020. I've seen people post. I've seen people make videos about it. I've seen people just in general have a very negative mood about 2020. People have said that 2020 needs to be canceled. People say that 2020 needs to be erased. But I also know about some students who still have a vision for 2020. They still have a vision for 2020 that they're going to accomplish their goals. They have a vision that they're still going to be college and career ready. They still have a vision that 2020 is not going to get canceled. 2020 is not going to stop them. And so what I want you to do is I want you to think about what is your vision for the year 2020. I want you to think about the rest of this year. I want you to think about National Gear Up Week. I want you to think about all the ways that you can prepare yourself, elevate yourself, and have a vision for what your future can be. So the reason I bring up 2020 vision is because I want you to think about just this year. I want you to go first and think about what is this year's goals? What is this year's vision? And then I want you to think about 2024. 2025, whatever it is, the year that you graduate from high school, I want you to think about that year. I want you to think about you got accepted to colleges. I want you to think about your graduation. I want you to think about wearing your cap, your gown. I want you to think about your parents being so proud of you and excited. Your mom and your dad are crying. They're happy. They've invited everyone from the family to come over for a big huge party, or everyone came in to watch you walk the stage, to watch you throw your cap in the air. I want you to think about what you're going to do right after you graduate high school. I know some kids, they get pumped and they go right into college. They start doing classes right after or as soon as summer hits. Other kids, they wait till after the summer. Some kids, they start doing other career paths. They start getting trade school stuff done. But what I want you to do is I want you to think about what is your 2024, 2025, 2026 vision. Think about that medium length from now. And then I want you to think about what is your 2030 vision? What is your career goals? One of my favorite things about Gear Up is that you get to visit all these universities. So you start working on that 2024 vision. You're going on college visits. You're going and looking at majors. You're learning about paths to have success academically. And then Gear Up also helps you to think about all the long-term goals. What is your long-term vision? What kind of career do you want to have in 2030? What kind of income do you want to have in 2040? What kind of family do you want to have by the time it's 2050? What kind of future are you going to have in 2060? So I want you to start thinking about your vision, your goals for those long-term. I remember my vision, my goals. I remember when someone asked me, I remember for the first time, I wanted to play football when I was a kid. I was obsessed with football. I remember the first time I put my shoulder pads on, I put my helmet on, I put my shoulder pads on. I looked in the mirror and I was like, man, I'm a stud. My coach did not agree. My coach believed that I was terrible. My coach told me that I was not good. I was slow. I was not strong enough. There were many reasons why he told me that I was not very good at football. But I had a vision that year I was going to improve. I had a vision that year I was going to prepare myself. I had a vision that year I was going to get better. I had a vision and a goal that I was going to be on the A team by the end of the year. Then I had a vision and a goal that I wanted to be a varsity player. I wanted to go and succeed in varsity athletics. I wanted to be all conference. I wanted to compete in all-star games. And then I wanted to get ready and go to college. I wanted to play college football. I wanted to be Division I is what they say. I wanted to go to prestigious school. Those were my vision and goals. And it really all started because of Gear Up. I'm proud to say that I'm a Gear Up alum. I was a Gear Up student myself. My very first college visit, I went to visit Texas A&M. I remember, I love just thinking about it now. I get goosebumps thinking of the excitement because I remember imagining when I got off, we took a bus from South Texas all the way up to College Station. We got off and I remember imagining how I wanted to go to college someday. So I saw these tall buildings and I thought to myself, I want to go to school with tall buildings. I saw the football field and said, this is what I want to do. I want to play football at a university. I saw the dorms. I saw students. I wanted to walk the halls. I wanted to walk the hallways. I wanted to walk everywhere in the grass, in the sidewalks. I wanted to be a college student. I thought it looked so amazing. I want you to imagine for yourself. I'm not sure if you've already taken a college visit. I see some students already have. They went over to North Texas. I want you to imagine what it would be like to be a college student. There's a lot of people who do imagine it, but then they don't have that next thing. So I love that Miss Gibson, Miss Smith said that we need to talk about having grit. There's a lot of students that they get the vision, but then they don't have the grit to keep on. One of the biggest success factors is the ability to have grit, the ability to have grit on the inside, the ability to perform with grit. There's a lot of students who maybe you have an experience where maybe one class is not so good and then they give up. Maybe they experience going off to college and they don't have a great first semester and then they quit. Maybe they experience that they're having a hard time figuring out where they want to go to school, what they want to study, what they want to do in their future, and then they give up. Grit is the ability to keep on going even after things have become difficult. Grit is the ability to have ganas even after that momentum, that early thing has gone away. And so I need you to have grit, that sustaining power. I need you to grit. So I want you to write down in the comments, go ahead and comment and put the word grit. I want you to write down on a sheet of paper, I want you to write the word grit. So that was my vision when I went through Gear Up, that I was going to go to college. But I want to talk to you about one of my all-time favorite is I'm a big Dallas Cowboys fan. I love the Texans as well, but I always support both the Texas teams. But specifically, I got to listen to Emmitt Smith speak one day. And he talked about how when he was in middle school, he wrote down, or when he was in high school, he wrote down his goals, how he wanted to be a really great running back, like the all-time greatest running back in Florida. Then he wrote down his goals that he wanted to be the all-time greatest in college. Then he wrote down his goals that he wanted to be the all-time greatest in the NFL. And if you don't know, Emmitt Smith has the record for the most yards in the NFL history, in the National Football League, professionals. He is the number one guy. And what he did was he wrote down his goals. He wrote down his vision for what he wanted to do in the future. So that's what I want you to do right now. I want you to take the time to write your goals, write your vision. Because just like what we talked about in grit, so I want you to write the goals. I want you to write that. And I want you to think about a plan that you have to accomplish your goals. But the thing is, it's almost like I want you to write your goal in permanent ink, but then write the plan in pencil, because the plans often change. The plan often doesn't happen. The plan often needs to be corrected. I played football. We'd go into a game. We thought we were going to do good, and boom, at halftime, we're already down. At halftime, we're already losing. We need to change the plan sometimes. The plan can change, but the goal never changes. The vision never changes. And so what I want you to do is I want you to write down your plan, but never, never, never erase the vision. And finally, one of the things that happened this year is a lot of people did exactly just that. They had a plan, a vision for 2020, but they didn't keep it going. They thought to themselves, well, 2020 is a crazy year. 2020 is the year that I had a vision. They had a vision. They were going to do this. They were going to do that. They were going to be college and career ready. And there's a lot of organizations that did not continue it on. I've seen a lot of other organizations that are not having their national weeks. There's a lot of other organizations that are not having their conferences. There's a lot of organizations that are not continuing to support their people. But Gear Up has made a commitment to you guys. You're still going to have National Gear Up Week. You're still going to have college and career readiness. You're still going to have the opportunities. I need you to understand that the plan might have changed, but you must continue to stay firm. You must continue to have grit. You must continue to have the vision. And so one of the things I did, it's very hard. It's a very hard a pan. So I got this pan, and the reason I brought it up is because I use it every single day. I had a plan when I bought this pan. I thought I was going to fry some eggs. I thought I was going to use it, and then I decided one day I was going to use it for a speech. And so we began to crush. I began to try to move this pan. And the thing is, it's very difficult. It's very difficult to move it, to change it, but the same way your goals, your vision for this year, I need you to be hard. I need you to be difficult to change it. Or I'm sorry, you have a plan, and the plan can change, but I need you to never let go of the vision. Your goal can never let it go. And so things can change, and it may be hard. It may be hard to continue to change what is going on. And a lot of people will decide, you know what, I'm going to quit. I'm not going to do it. Instead, they might not continue. And so I want you to think about the change that you're going to have. I want you to think about the change that you're going to do. I want you to think about the change. And so this was very hard to change. It was hard to change it, manipulate it, to bend the metal, to bend whatever it's made out of. And so I want you to do the same thing. I need you to change the plan. I need you to change what you were going to do. You know, maybe this year has been extra difficult. Maybe this year there's people around you that say, we're going to quit on doing the school stuff. We're going to quit on doing the extra stuff. I need you to commit to your vision. I need you to commit to your goal. I need you to change the plan. I need you to make it work somehow. Have the grit, like Miss Gibson and Miss Smith said. Have the grit, so that way you can continue on in your goals. Never change them. For me, one of the big moments, I remember going into my freshman year of high school. I was so pumped. I was so excited. I was like, high school is going to be the moment. High school is going to be the time. And I'm getting ready to go to high school, and I'm jogging to the school. I'm preparing extra. I'm doing all the extra stuff. The same way many of you are going to do all the extra stuff for National Gear Up Week. You're going to do all the activities that they plan for you. And so I was pumped. I was excited. I was like, I'm going to be the all-time great freshman. And so I'm going to school. I'm jogging. It's about a 2-mile jog. I got sweat coming down the sides of me. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. And by the time I get to school, I'm getting ready to work out. I was going to rest, and boom, work out. And right before I get to the school, I see a little restaurant, and my grandfather's parked outside the restaurant. I go inside because I'm super pumped. I hadn't seen my grandfather in a very long time. I go in, and I expect my grandfather. He always had goodies with him. He always had sweetbread. He always had food. He always had money that he would give me. So I go in expecting to receive so many cool things. And my grandfather tells me that my mom is going to jail. And my mom is going to jail for a long time. I spent the entire summer at a friend's house, and so I wasn't aware that my mom had gone to jail. And everything changed that year. I had my own personal pandemic in that moment. And I'm not trying to make the pandemic seem light. I lost my grandmother during the pandemic. And so I take it very, very serious. But for me in 9th grade, I felt like I was having my own personal pandemic. My mom goes to prison. My stepdad was already in prison. And it felt like all my dreams and goals were being taken from me in that moment. But instead of choosing to give up, instead of choosing to quit, I chose to have grit. And it was one of the best decisions that I ever made in my life. Choose to have grit. I want you to write down on a sheet of paper, write down on where around your goals. Choose to have grit. Choose to have grit. Like I said, there's a lot of people that are saying right now that 2020 should get canceled. 2020 should be erased. 2020 was a waste. But I know that there's also people out there that needed 2020 to have, or we need 2020 to be amazing. We need 2020 to continue on. We need 2020 so that way we can accomplish our dreams, our goals, our vision. My mom went to prison and our family dynamic completely changed. I had to move in with my grandfather. I'm the oldest of 6. We all got split up. But because of grit, my life ended up actually being better. That year ended up being one of the best years of my entire life. I made some of the best friends I ever had. I advanced and became one of the top students in that year. I became one of the top athletes. All these amazing things happened because I chose grit. So what I want you to do is I want you to choose grit. I want you to choose to have the most amazing year. You heard all the different things that I've done. I went on to go into a top school. I ended up being the top in SAT in my school. I was the first one to get commended in every subject of the STAR exam, or we had TAKS back then. And I ended up being a leader in my school, in my family, my community. And now I get to go and share my message across the world. All because of Gear Up. All because of choosing grit, all because of the vision. And so what I want you to do is I want you to remember today, I'm going to give you a $100 prize for participating. Go to my Instagram. It's @JMedinaSpeaks. But I want you to write down what your vision is in the comments. Write down somewhere. It doesn't matter what picture you choose. I'm going to go look at all of them, and I'm going to give someone $100. Write down what your vision is. Write down that you choose grit. Write down that Gear Up works. Write down that it's National Gear Up Week. Go ahead and tag me. Tag @ED Partnerships. That's the National Gear Up Instagram. Again, there's a lot of people that are giving up on 2020, but I believe that you are going to be a champion. I believe that you are going to have an amazing year. I believe that your vision is going to come true. I believe that you're going to, even if things continue to be difficult, you're going to have grit. I believe that Gear Up works, and I'm so grateful Gear Up works because it changed my life. I'm so grateful to Miss Gibson, Miss Smith. Thank you, Dr. Moore and Principal Brown, for allowing me to be here. And thank you, Sheila, for allowing me to be a part. This is Region 12 Gear Up ESC. All their support. National Gear Up Week. #Gear Up Works. Without a vision, the students lose. Students, you are a champion. I need you to write it down in the chat. Say, I am a champion. Write it down in the chat. Say, I am a champion. Write it down in the chat. Say, I am a champion. I believe in you. You are a champion. And don't forget, it's game time.